Hello everyone. In our previous lectures, we have already completed the linear, nonlinear, active, passive, and unilateral, bilateral. In this lecture, we will learn time variant and time invariant elements. Okay. So how to know from a VI characteristics of an element that the element is time variant or time invariant? Remember one thing, if an element is time invariant, which means it doesn't vary with time, it means the VI characteristics of that element should be independent of time, okay? Or you may say that the VI characteristics equation should not be the function of time, okay? So the VI characteristic should not vary with time. So I am showing an example. So this is the VI characteristics of any element which is making an angle theta 1 with the current axis. Okay, this may be at time t1, and maybe after some time, maybe t2, at time t2 the graph changes from this position to this position. Okay, so at time t equals to t2 the position of the VI characteristics is changed. So I can see from this that the VI characteristics depend on the time. So it is the VI characteristics of a time variant element. Okay, and now the VI characteristics of another element is static. It doesn't change with time. For all time t, it is like this same. Okay, so it is static. So it is time invariant. Now you may ask that how do I know that whether it is time invariant, that it will not change with respect to time? See, it is my assumption. Okay, just to explain you the difference between time variant and time invariant element, it is my assumption that this VI characteristics changes with time, but this doesn't. Okay, it is my assumption, but in question it should be given that whether the VI characteristics is changing with respect to time or not. Otherwise no one can tell you that whether the element is time variant or time invariant. Clear? And the last part, that is lumped and distributive element. Okay, this is the last classification of an element. So the problem is you cannot determine whether the element is lumped or distributive from the VI characteristics. Okay, there is no dealing with the VI characteristics. This is just a general concept. Suppose this is a current carrying conductor. Okay, the length of this conductor is 2 kilometer. Okay, it's very big, 2 kilometer. And now I am telling you that the resistance of this 2 kilometer wire is 3 kilo ohms. Okay, the resistance of this wire is 3 kilo ohms. Now you tell me what you think, that the 3 kilo ohm valued resistance is concentrated at some point, or is it distributed in the whole length of the line? If I draw like this, it seems that the length is 2 kilometer, but the 3 kilo ohm resistance or resistor is concentrated only in this part, right? But is it true in practical? No, because the value 3 kilo ohm resistance is distributed in the whole length. And if it is distributed in the whole length, you should not draw it like this. But in case of circuit analysis, what will you do? You have to show this symbol so that I can know that the resistance in this path is 3 kilo ohms. But you should have the practical idea about it, that this 3 kilo ohm is not only situated in this symbol, it is distributed over the whole path. Okay, now if you show the symbol like this, it is called lumped. Okay, lumped element, lumped. But if you are telling that the resistance is distributed over this whole length, then it is distributive. Okay, there is no relation with the VI characteristics. This is just the simple representation. So if you are distributing the whole the resistance in the whole length, it is distributive element. And if you are showing the element by a symbol in a path, then it is lumped. Okay, and it is applicable for all kind of elements, resistance, inductance, capacitance. So there is no limitation. Okay, so distributive means the property is the property is distributed over the length, and lumped means the property is concentrated in a point. But that is also your assumption, because no property can be situated at a point. So we have completed linear, non-linear, active, passive, bilateral, unilateral, time variant, time invariant, and the last one, lumped and distributive elements. Clear? So the first step towards the circuit analysis, which is classification of element, you have completed. Okay, so you have completed the classification of elements, and now we'll see some miscellaneous examples so that you can determine whether the element is linear, non-linear, active, passive, bilateral, unilateral, time variant, time invariant or not. Okay, and again I am saying you cannot determine from the VI characteristics of an element whether it is lumped or distributive. Okay, one more thing, if the VI characteristics is showing for only one time, okay, at any time interval, then you cannot determine whether the element is time variant or time invariant from only one VI characteristics. Okay, but you can easily determine linearity, non-linearity, active, passiveness, and bilateral, unilateral terminals. Okay, so write down the question, determine whether the elements are non-linear, linear, active, passive, bilateral, unilateral. Okay, and we'll analyze all these VI characteristics one by one. So in the first example, see, in the first example is a straight line. The VI characteristics is a straight line which is following only one equation. This is only one equation, and it is passing through the origin and also for all time, which means you can extend this up to any point. So it is following all three conditions for linearity. So this is linear element, and I have told you before that if an element is linear, then it should be bilateral. So it is bilateral also. Bilateral. If an element is linear, it should be bilateral. Okay, you can also check by the condition of bilateral. What is that? See, this is the positive part. The ratio of voltage and current in the positive side should be same with the ratio of voltage and current in the negative. See, from your common sense, it is a straight line, right? It is a straight line. So the ratio of voltage and current in this positive section should be equal with the ratio of voltage and current in the negative section also, because the slope is not changed anywhere. It means the impedance offered by the first terminal should be equal with the opposite terminal. So even if you reverse the polarity, the impedance will not change. So it is bilateral. It is proved. The last one, whether it is active and passive. See, I have told you that if the slope is negative, then it is active, and if the slope is positive, it is passive. Now you tell me whether the slope is negative or positive. See, it is in the first quadrant, right? First and third quadrant, and slope is what? Slope is tan theta. So in first and third quadrant, the value of tan is positive. So if the slope is positive, it means it is a passive element. Clear? Therefore, it is linear, bilateral, and passive element. Now, if you ask me, sir, whether it is time invariant or time invariant, no, we cannot determine. Why? Because the VI characteristics is shown for only one time instant. Now, if you increase the time, this VI characteristics may or may not change. So following only the equation for only single time instant, we cannot determine whether the VI characteristics is time variant or time invariant. But we are assuming this as time invariant. Okay. Now in this case, see, the straight line, yes, it is straight line, but it is not following only one equation, because here the slope and the slope is here are not same. So it is not following only one equation of straight line. So from the first line, we can say that it is non-linear. And if the straight line is not following only one equation and slope is changed, which means the ratio of voltage and current here and the negative side should not be same. So the impedances are different if you change the polarity or reverse the polarity, which means it is unilateral. See in this case, okay, one more thing, active or passive. See here again it is lying on first and third quadrant. So slope is positive. Whether the slope is, it is positive value. So if the slope is positive, then it is passive element. So it is non-linear, unilateral and passive. See in this example, it is following only one equation of straight line, passing through origin, but it is not following the equation for all time because there is no part in the negative side. So it is non-linear. Secondly, you tell me whether it is bilateral or unilateral. See, the values are only in the positive side, so we can calculate the ratio of voltage and current in the positive side only, but there is no part in the negative side. So it means it is again unilateral. And whether it is active or passive, see this there, it is lying on first quadrant. First quadrant means value of tan will be positive, I mean slope is positive. So if slope is positive, it is passive. So again it is passive. See in this part, this is not following any equation of straight line, it is a curved line. So it should be non-linear because the first condition of linearity is violated here. What is the first condition? The first condition was it should follow only one equation of straight line. अरे only one equation तो दूर की बात है, यहाँ पर तो curved line हो रहा है, तो it is not following any equation of straight line. So it is non-linear. Again, whether it is bilateral or unilateral, see, there is only positive part and there is no part in this negative section. Okay, yes, there is some negative value of current, but even for the negative value of current, it is showing positive value of voltage. It means the ratio of voltage and current will never be same if you reverse the polarity. Okay, so it is unilateral. Clear now? See, for an value of I1, the voltage may be V1, and if for a value of minus I1, the voltage is again V1. So what will be the impedance in the first terminal? Z1 will be V1 by I1, and if the polarity is reversed, the impedance Z2 will be minus V1 by I1. Why? Because the voltage is not negative, so there will be a minus sign. So Z1 not equals to Z2, which means unilateral. And the last one, active or passive. See, in this case the slope is positive, but in this case the slope is negative. If the value of slope is negative for any moment, then it should be active. So it is active element. Now moving to this example, see, it is not following any equation of straight line, so again it is non-linear. Okay. Number 2, it is again the value of current is always positive. The value of current is always positive, yes, but the voltage value is negative for some time. For a value of I1, the voltage value is V1 maybe, and for that value of I1, if the voltage is minus V1, the current is I1 again. So the current is not being negative at any voltage. So the ratio of Z1 and Z2 will not be equal again. So it is unilateral. See, the characteristics is lying on first and fourth quadrant. First and fourth quadrant means what? I already told you, it is active. Now why? Because if the slope is negative if the slope is negative for any moment, in which part it is negative? In the fourth quadrant. Why? Because if you draw a tangent here and calculate the slope, the value of tan will be negative in the fourth quadrant, so it is active. In this VI characteristics, it is following only one equation of straight line, okay, and it is passing through origin and for all time. So it is following the one for condition 1, 2 and 3 for linearity. So it is a linear element, and if it is linear, then it should be bilateral. But the VI characteristics is lying on second and fourth quadrant, which means the slope is negative. Negative means it should be active element. In this case, see, It is following only one equation. It is passing through origin, but not for all time. There is no part in the negative section. So it is non-linear. And if it is non-linear, it should be unilateral. Why? Why unilateral? Because in the positive part of voltage, you will get some ratio of voltage and current. But in the negative part of voltage, you will not get any ratio because there is no characteristics in the negative part of the voltage. So it is unilateral. And is it active or passive? It is active. Why? Because it is lying on the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, the value of tan is negative. So it is active. Because the slope is negative, and if the slope is negative, it should be active. And in the last example, see, it is following only one equation of straight line passing through origin, but not for all time. Not for all time. Even if the slope is same here and here, but still it is not following the equation for all time. So it is non-linear. It is non-linear. Okay. And see, slope is same here and here. So the ratio of voltage and current will be same. The ratio of voltage and current will be same in this section and this section. So it should be bilateral. And the slope is positive. Okay, because it is lying on first and fourth quadrant. So if the slope is positive, it should be a passive element. So I think after analyzing all these VI characteristics, the properties which is linear, bilateral, passive, these are active, passive, unilateral, bilateral, linear, non-linear, these are clear to you. Okay, so till now we have completed the classification of elements and the analysis of VI characteristics, and in our next lecture we will classify the circuit sources. I mean, what type of sources are used in a circuit. So up to this, I think the classification of elements is clear to you. Okay, goodbye.